Well, hello, and welcome to the very first lesson of the Discover Headless Tech course. I'm Marcelo Lewin, the Headless creator. You all know me already with all the other courses I've got going on. You can get a hold of me, as always, marcelo@headlesscreator.com. There's the email address. Feel free to reach out. I'll get back to you with any questions you may have as soon as I can. Today's discovery is of a headless CMS you may not be aware of. It's called Amplience. We're going to get into it in just a second. What you're going to learn specifically today with Amplience is you're going to learn how to plan, manage, and preview content inside of it. And I have a special guest presenter, Neil Mystery. So we'll be bringing him in just a minute and have a quick conversation with him. But as always, before we get started, of course, this is where you'll find the on-demand version of this lesson. What you can do is you can go to headlesscreator.com. Make sure you register. This is for the people that are watching this live. Go to courses, under all courses. You'll find the Discover Headless Tech. Once you're in there, you're going to see it under Headless CMS. We're going to have many other lessons on a variety of other headless technologies. So keep an eye on this course because this course will grow and you're gonna discover a whole bunch of stuff here. That's the whole goal of this course. So again, register for free, headlesscreator.com, free registration. Then you'll have access also to all the other courses. Content Modeling Weekly, all the other Headless CMS courses, and then the Discover Headless Tech. All right, enough of the marketing, because that's not what you're here. You're here to learn. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and restart the lesson. For those of you, you know how I work this out, is I restarted with the same intro, but no marketing. So in the on-demand lesson, there will be absolutely no marketing at all. So let me get that going, and I'll see you in just 1 minute. Well, welcome to the very first lesson of the Discover Headless Tech course. I'm your host, Marcelo Lewin, the Headless creator, as always. And feel free to get a hold of me, marcelo@headlesscreator.com. I'll answer any questions you have as soon as I can. Today's discovery is of a headless CMS you may not have heard of or are aware of. It's called Amplience. And in today's lesson, we're going to talk about how do you plan, manage, and preview content inside of Amplience. The person that's going to show us that is Neil Mystery. And instead of me telling you about him, why don't I just invite him in? Neil.
Wow, we're in.
You're in, sir. Welcome. Welcome. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm really good. It's a lovely evening here in the countryside in the UK. So yeah, bright smiles, happy faces, and it's a Friday as well. So
TGIF, as we say. Right? So very happy to be Friday. Anyway, welcome. Thank you. I know we're going to jump in and you're going to show us Amplience, but first of all, tell us you are with Amplience. And thank you to Amplience for sponsorship as well. I want to be out there as well, knowing that people knowing that. Thanks for the support. But before we get started, what I'd like to know is a little bit about you. I mean, how did you get to where you are?
Oh, dangerous topic there.
Uh-oh.
No, it's quite a simple one. Like after university, I actually ended up like creating like some like animation websites, like really like when you want to like work for Pixar and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then that led to a job in London, and that was actually this job. It was like starting with a very small group of people. We made a company that turned into Amplience, and 15 years later, it's here and it's changed and evolved with tech times throughout. But that's pretty much been it. We've had several offices, several places, just like everyone else as you grow. But that's the story.
And what do you do there?
So I'm the vice president of solutions here at Amplience. So it's kind of like looking after how to package like the kind of product to other people. But for background, I was previously, like I said, I was a developer first, then like product manager, then back into development, then some like projects, onboarding, all those kind of things. So it's a little life cycle around parts. So hopefully can answer questions, and hopefully it's very interactive today. So
Definitely.
look forward to it.
And since you mentioned animation, what's your favorite? And we mentioned Pixar. Do you have a favorite Pixar movie that you like?
Was that an obvious lead on? Yeah, it's weird, and I know people are going to hate me for this, but I love Toy Story. I think it's probably the most creative, ingenious, like groundbreaking kind of movie.
Well, it was
Like,
groundbreaking for sure. Yeah,
it was amazing. But
definitely.
yeah,
Have you watched Soul? That. I believe that's Pixar too.
no, I have not.
Okay, you got to watch it. If you have Disney Plus in the UK, you got to watch it. It's a really good movie. Really good movie. I think you will enjoy it, especially if you like Pixar stuff.
That's awesome. Should we talk about that for the rest of the time?
Let's do that. Let's do that. Forget I mean, come on. Let's get real. All right. So here we go. I'm going to show your screen right now. So go ahead and get it ready there. And
good stuff. Okay. Maybe what I'll do before the kind of like showing you a demo of everything is just show you kind of what we're going to show, because it's kind of vague talking about planning, managing content, because that's kind of what a CMS should do, right? So we'll just talk a little bit about like a content production process. And many people on the call or watching this will probably be used to this kind of thing that's coming up, where lots of tasks are being like given to people to be able to change content. And that might be with things that exist already, or it might be a challenge that's resulted because they can't actually see the content until it's kind of out there. So what we'll show you today are some of the basics like content types and things like that. But then we'll also show you like exactly what we said in terms of being able to preview, see everything that's going together, and make it an environment so that designers, copywriters, everyone has a hand in building content, and you start to view things as reusable components instead of full pages. But it goes a step further as well. So during the demo, you'll also see something else. And people on the call might have seen views like this if you're working in retail or e-commerce lands, where people generally like print out and need to be able to see what their applications are going to look like through time, right? Because they need to sign them off, they need to go through a load of other things along the way. So we'll also show you how you can bring this into something a bit more like this, which is a marketing calendar, and then be able to plan, produce the content, assign the content, choose where it's going to go, and kind of see, where it will be, when it will be, and everything through that process. So a little bit of an introduction there, just in terms of what you are going to see. But we'll get out of slides and go actually into the Amplience application instead, if that's okay with you.
That works. Perfect. Let's do it.
Excellent. So we won't show you everything today, because obviously there's a lot to here. You can probably see by all the tabs and everything else that's open. But I just wanted to go through a couple of different things. Firstly, there's like a dashboard that we'll get to a little bit later. But this gives you like overviews of what you're doing, which is really important with planning, assigning tasks, assigning things to people, seeing what's coming up, seeing what you've done, seeing what the schedules are, looking at your analytics, all of that kind of stuff. We'll also be going through things like the planning. So obviously you saw that PowerPoint screen before, but the marketing calendar over here. But we'll take a start at the kind of basics, which is content modeling, right? Like how to produce content. And I think one of the things that you might see straight away is that this looks a little bit different, right? You're getting some kind of previews into the content that you've produced, as in what it actually looks like. And this is a card kind of feature. So what this does is allow you to see what the content is. You can always, go back to like normal views, like this kind of stuff. But most people tend to find this a little bit easier. So if we go through and just have a look at how like you can choose from various content types or order them or favorite them and all those kind of things, that's completely fine. And obviously It's a headless CMS, so you can create model your own content types, things that mean things to you. But there's lots of out of the box ones, but that's just a quick sample.
Real quick question on that, because I'm a content modeling geek. It looks like when you select your content types, which obviously you've created them, you have icons for them. So does that mean you can assign an icon to a content type to have sort of a representation of what it is?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, this is a really good thing. I'll show you that now. So
Okay.
there's something like, as you're going through content types, that we feel is quite important. And there's two things, right? There's your kind of data models, which are your schemas. And there are your content types, which is everything that a business user would like to see. So I'm more than happy actually to spend 2 minutes just going through that right now so you can have a look. Then we'll go into the rest of the demo.
Yeah, definitely.
Shortly.
Yeah. A quick overview of this would be great. Yeah.
That's perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to the same content type that we're going to be looking at later, which is this simple banner. And you can see here, like, firstly, this all looks complicated, right? This is JSON and a bit scary. The reason that we've put it this way is because we follow a format called JSON schema. So we believe that everything should be open source. We believe that you shouldn't have to have any proprietary things to learn. It just makes adoption a little bit easier. Having said that, though, in terms of adding things, there's also a little GUI. So you can add your different properties, put your different types. You can customize the types. You can add extensions and everything else all the way through. But this left-hand side is the data model. The right-hand side is what the form would look like for the business user. And some of which are extensions that load dynamically, some of which are like inbuilt fields in this kind of content type. But through this process, there's something quite powerful about being able to see the structure of the form for the business users to be able to edit. So in a lot of cases, people actually do these together, like the users of the platform and the dev team. And what it also gives is like really rapid kind of prototyping along the way. So if we click on like a sample output, what that'll do is just generate lovely lorem ipsum for the fields that you have as text and numbers for the things that you define. If you put any validation, it would adhere to that kind of stuff along the way. So for example, our SEO text said that it must have kind of like a little slash inside just for no apparent reason in place there. But that's like the content schemas. These are your data models. And remember when I said we'll take a step back and go into content types. Now, these are the things that the business users actually use. So when we think about developing a application, there's two things that come into mind. One is that the applications, the names of your content types usually map to components and things like that, which is perfect. But they might not make any human sense to anyone else. So a content type is everything for the business user. So they see the name over here, not the name over here, even though it's the same in this case. But things like those labels, those icons, like choosing where in like the application interface people can create content like this. So you can quickly deploy to maybe another region, or maybe there's like an agency that needs access to be able to create this content type. It's just a simple click. And we'll probably come back to this a little bit later when we show you some of the cool stuff with this tab over here. But there's something else as well. You don't have to have your schemas inside of Amplience. If you want to point to any HTTPS URL, if it's Bitbucket S3 or like GitHub or whatever, that's also fine too, because then it hooks in with your development process a little bit easier. But yeah,